Hey, what's going on, guys? It's B from Kong's R Us, and we are live today trying to do some pinball play. So I kind of have an interesting setup here. Hope you guys can see me okay right here on the front glass. Give me a thumbs up or just shout out if you can hear me okay. I have some other things happening in the house right now. Got my daughter playing ballet and my son playing some games, but I got my Star Wars arcade pinball machine. And before I even removed the glass and turned it on, I already put on a 22-inch monitor that I had in my room. And I was just like, hey, I wonder if this will fit. And oftentimes when I do modding, I don't really plan for the things that I mod or have like a blueprint on how I'm going to do it. I literally just say, hey, I wonder if this will work. And so I just happen to have, this is the monitor that I usually use in my room when I'm tinkering and I need to test things out. And it fit. It's a 22-inch AOC monitor, and if you can see it, I mean, it looks like it belongs, and it just has a little AOC logo on the front right there. And so my plan for today's stream is, thanks everybody for joining, is to turn it on. And I didn't want to bore everybody with, you know, a full-on unboxing video. I did some B-roll. Maybe I'll do a full review later on. So I didn't want to do the unboxing portion of it live, but I want to turn it on live for the first time and experience the gameplay stock. So the only thing that I've changed so far right now is the back glass. Since I thought, like, as I was building it, and the stock black glass is just an LED light, and it just has this like plexi logo on it. And I was looking at the frame section of it, and I was like, this is almost the size of a monitor. And so I was like, hey, I wonder if it'll fit. And I just started doing some measurements and taking it out. It doesn't fit 100% completely, though. I did have to demount the bottom part or the back part. And on the back side, this top, right now, it's almost like friction fit. I don't have it securely mounted in place yet because I literally just did it like an hour ago. And I was just excited to give my first thoughts on what's happening. So what I did on the black glass, what you can see right now, this is just my standard PC running my Launchbox playlist that I have for my regular Star Wars mod. For folks that don't know me for my Star Wars mod, I originally modded the Star Wars Arcade1Up to run a PC so I can run all sorts of Star Wars games. So that's my quote unquote claim to fame. And so I have that loaded up on the back glass. I have Glenn's Retro Show yoke, his GRS yoke with me. So I have it loaded up so I can actually play games on the yoke. If I find a way to just kind of secure this down and mount it on, I could be playing games on the back glass. Like all my I can do shooting games. I can do racing games. I can play, Star Wars Trilogy, which I tease on this stuff. I actually have a pinball playlist on my yoke so I can play horizontal pinball. So the goal eventually, so after I do my initial thoughts and impressions on the actual pinball machine, I'm going to attempt to live open up this portion of the cab and then see if we can change the 24-inch monitor playfield, plug in one of the LVDS display adapters to HDMI, and then here's my plan. Here's my I have no idea if it's going to work, but I want to take the stock PCB, use the GEEKWORM encoder, and so that I can plug that into any HDMI monitor and then replug it back into the 24-inch. So if I wanted to, I could play the stock pinball on the playfield. But if I'm successful in splitting the signal, then I can run a second HDMI from the monitor into like a spare PC that I have, and I can run my other playlists if I want to. So I still want to be able to retain the stock pinball for the most part if I can, because I'm going to test the interface right now and see how I like it. But you know, this is just for the sake of science, just for the sake of tinkering to see if we can do it right. So that's the goal for today's stream. I'm sorry I don't have a really great setup where I can actually see comments and stuff, but I'm checking a few of the comments. Hey, Glenn's here. What's going on? Brian Gwenther's here. Soggy Kid. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Technobilly is here. So thank you guys all for joining and checking this out. So I'm going to turn it on live right now just so you can get my like true first impressions of the actual gameplay of the cab itself, because I'm actually excited about the unboxing and the quality of this. Like my first impression as soon as I opened it, just to start from the beginning, the quality of the build is fantastic. It's like unlike any other Arcade1Up product on the market right now. Like the amount of metal across the board, I kind of equate it to, I'm a toy collector, right? So you have regular plastic toys like your Transformers and things, and then you get a toy that when you pick it up, it has like die cast, and you just pick it up and you feel like, damn, this is like worth the money that I paid for it. And that's how this feels compared to, the $500 Outrun cab that I bought, compared to, just the $500, $550 cab here. You just think about the components of the parts, the larger screen, the metal brackets, the weight of everything. The fact that they got this quality of everything in here with that price point, I still think is amazing, and it blows my mind compared to other products in the market. So I think this is a fantastic entry. And I'm not a huge pinball guy. Like I don't have a full-size pinball table. It's been a while since I played a full-size pinball table, but the size of this looks perfect in my playroom. Like I have 5 cabs this way, about 6 cabs this way. And so this looks great in my 3/4 scale arcade in my upstairs den. And I can tell you, so, this looks fantastic, and I'm happy about this. I did actually yesterday during National Owners Day for At Games order the At Games Legends Pinball. I got caught up in the At Games Mania, and so I'm excited to see the 32-inch version against this. And so that'll be coming. That'll be future content that I can do. Hi, and I have my son who's joining me here today too. So, all right, peel that thing. All right, so the first thing, right? So I gotta peel it. I was waiting to do this on stream. I don't know. Part of me has that. I don't know if this is just
Wait, this is actually electrical.
No, it's not electrical. This is just the thing. I have this thing where like with electronics, like I hate getting rid of like this stuff, like the plastic stuff. I'm like, Glenn bagged all his toys and all his collectibles. I still have like this stuff that's on my remote control on my OLED TV downstairs. The base of it still has the plastic attached to it. Like if I can leave the plastic attached to something, even my cell phone, I never peeled off the plastic on the back part of my cell phone. But I have to get rid of this. I have the plastic on this little monitor thing too. I'll probably peel that off in just a second too. All right, might as well go full. I'm unboxing. All right, there's the beautiful play glass. Let's turn it on for the first time and get it going. All right. Oh, that was painful. Glenn, was that painful to watch, like unboxing and unbagging something? Man. All right, so everything's plugged in except for the pinball table. I just have the monitor backglass plugged into a monitor itself separately. And all right, here we go. We're gonna flip the switch on the front. I'm not sure how well you guys can see everything. There's probably some glare, but hopefully it looks decent. Shout out to the Tech Buzz. I talked to Stephen Haywood, and he gave me some tips on equipment. So he got me a PTZ camera that I think is pretty good. This is a top-down playlist field, so I'm gonna switch it and move this one to be the big one. Ooh, that's loud. Okay. All right, that was a little bit of a kick. The speakers sound good. The first thing I noticed right away, boom, the speakers turned on. So now I have the pinball table running with the DMD in the background, and then I have my custom Launchbox playlist playing on the background right now. But to Glenn's point, Glenn came up with a great suggestion about playing Star Wars movies. So again, this is just a regular 22-inch AOC computer monitor, and you can plug it into anything. It's HDMI out, so you could play the Star Wars movies if you wanted to. So there's all sorts of things you can do with this, and so I'm excited to see it there, just to have it. Like I can have just a rotating list of images in the background, so I don't have to be stuck with just this plain image the entire time. So I mean, even though this is nice, I think having a dynamic display screen is so much more versatile. So first off, yes, and good music. So that's the pinball. So let's check it out. So press launch to continue. So I assume the launch button is this. No, launch is, oh, there's buttons here in the front. So launch to continue. Oh, I have to press it? What am I pressing? Oh, changing it to English, Espanol, and then launch. Isn't the launch button this thing? Okay, now this is where I'm like really truly lacking. Why aren't these buttons working? Oh, these buttons are almost like flippers too, where it changes to flippers. Espanol, no. I want it to be English. Press launch to continue. Oh, there's a little red button on the bottom of the plunger. I'm like way up high right now, and so underneath the plunger, there's a red button. So that's my fault. I just can't see. So look here, it says there's a start launch button. There's an actual plunger. There's a table guide. All right, I should have done some more research on this first, but so my first reaction to looking at the 720p playfield monitor is that it looks really clean. I mean, I'm gonna get to the actual gameplay, but the size of it from the get-go is perfect for the size of the actual screen. Like I know that you could do a 27-inch. I saw a cool toy put in the 32-inch, but the recessed monitor inside here looks really good. I really like it, and so it's really clear, crisp. So you can see all the different tables they have here. Since Glenn is watching, I won't do any of the 7, 8, 9 tables. I'm gonna go with my boy Boba, Mr. Boba Fett, because I'm feeling I miss drinking boba tea and going out. So we're gonna do some Boba Fett gameplay and test it out. And while I do that, your game will start soon. I wonder if it has to think about that. I wonder if on the back, just for kicks, let's turn on my the Boba Fett playlist. I can do both at the same time. I'm gonna turn on Boba Fett horizontal pinball at the same time. How's that? You can have 2 pinball tables running at the same time. Check it out. So I have Pinball FX3 on my playlist. And so I'm running, it's not gonna actually play it, but I have FX3 loading on the back right now. And then here it is. So I can play FX3. I can play either one. I wanna actually see what's better. So this is a 1080p monitor on the top, and this is a 720p monitor. So I'm actually comparing the 2 tables right now on a 720p monitor and a 1080p monitor, just to see the differences of it. And the colors on the back screen monitor are way more vibrant. Like, you know, it's one of those things, like I was a huge TV aficionado, and every Black Friday I would buy a new TV. And it's hard because you look at the specs of all the different monitors and things, but unless you're like actually pick up your TV and put it side by side next to another TV, it's really hard to tell the difference. And so when I upgraded from 720p to 1080p the first time, when I upgraded from, you know, plasma to an LED, when I upgraded to my LG 65-inch OLED, like every step was that much better. And so I'm looking at the playfield like on this 1080p backglass monitor and giving it to like a PC monitor, but like I can compare right now, and you can definitely see the quality differences. But you know, obviously it's a different playfield, but let's just give it a go and see how it goes. All right, so I press the start button. You got the plunger that is, again, it's an analog signal, so as you move it back, it's moving there. All right, and I know people were talking about the jagged playfield on the especially the flippers. You can see a lot of jagged lines, like almost across the entire table. Like I'm looking at this, and it's the quality. I mean, I'm compared to the top monitor, if you can tell, you can definitely tell a difference. So I wonder if the PCB output is really that limited, right? Yeah, it can only do 720p. Like if I upgraded this, if I upgraded because the actual screen itself can do 1080p, but the output is just 720p. If I have ended up attaching my PC to this monitor and ran the same table, like obviously PC is going to have better graphics than what the PCB can do. So yeah, I was really curious about how well these tables would run on the Arcade1Up hardware, because for folks that know VPN, like you need a pretty beefy PC, you know, to run great tables. And you know, there's 4K tables, there's 1080p tables, and we weren't gonna get that quality. But I've been used to playing on a 1080p monitor, and like the lines are really jaggedy. Like if I, like this line right here, there's like a little line here of metal, and it's all jagged. It's really bad. That's just my first impression. Maybe it's just this table. Maybe the other tables will get better. So I mean, so I don't know if you guys can see it, but you can. I know it looks washed out. But so for me on the back glass, the way I play pinball with my yoke. So this is shout out to Glenn. This is Glenn's GRS yoke right here. And shout out to Greg Zaker, who made this GRS mount panel. It's absolutely beautiful. So I can play this on anything. I might find, this is my other ultimate idea. I might find a way to secure this down, like if I want to play on here, if I want, because now I have a nice, awesome 22-inch monitor to play. So I have the pullback on the actual yoke itself to run. Hold to launch trigger. Oh, it's actually telling me how to. Oh, thanks, Boba. It's telling me how to play the game. Okay. And so when I'm playing on the horizontal play field, I'm using the triggers to move. And so this is a nice, interesting way to play pinball too. So this is how I've been playing pinball for the most part. And then I actually move my yoke to the left and to the right to nudge. So this is how I've enjoyed playing pinball for the most part. But the 1080p difference is huge to me. So I don't know if people have seen this side by side, because you're looking at the stock monitor down there, and it looks washed out. The screen itself, I don't know if you guys can see it on the stream, but in person the colors are just way more vibrant. So and once we plug in the LVDS adapter to the 24-inch backfield, I'm gonna see if I can mess with the settings too, because it looks really washed out. And it's almost like seeing an older LCD compared to like a newer one. Maybe it's just, PC monitors are just a little bit tighter with resolution, but the difference is way clearer. Okay, so those are my initial thoughts, just seeing a table, seeing kind of the quality of it. Like I really want to upgrade the graphics on this. I think for my kids that may not have played this at all, but for me, used to playing FX3 on a really high crisp monitor, this is a build quality great. Quality of the actual pinball look is a big downgrade for me. So that's just my first initial reaction. All right, so I'm just taking a quick look at the chat in case there's any questions and things that I can answer. Nice Dragon's Lair cabinet. Yep. When did you place your pre-order? I placed my pre-order the first day it came out in November. So once that came out, I placed my order. My good buddy Alex Bittencourt is like my A1Up pusher and told me about it. So I placed my order. So that's kind of what happened there. All right, how do I exit a game? Okay, I press that, go to table guide, exit to menu. So the menu is very clean. The interface is good. At least like this section looked really good. Like, I mean, if you're just looking at the art in this section and there's not like a lot of stuff looking at it. Battle of Nimbon. Let's look at the Battle of Nimbon. Maybe it was just a table. Maybe it was just a Boba Fett table. Let me try to go to the Battle of Nimbon table and see the difference. So this is interesting for me. So for my playlist, I just hold the start button on my GRS yoke, and that's how I go back. So let's go to the Battle of Nimbon here and check it out. Side by side. So much fun, right? All right, so here. Maybe I haven't been used to playing on like a true vertical play field too, but this one again, you see jagged lines on the flippers. They're the most apparent. On the rails, you can definitely see them a little bit too, but this one wasn't as bad as Boba Fett. Boba Fett definitely had more jagged edges than others. Phew, so we shot that. Oh, I haven't tested the tilt accelerometer. Like, how do I get tilt to actually nudge? Is it like tilting? I can't even tell. It's hard to tell if I'm actually like doing a true tilt or not. Ball out. Flippers are very responsive, which is good. Yeah. Gameplay feels good. I remember in a couple of reviews that it really took a lot to like feel if you're doing a true nudge. I have carpet on the bottom of my house right now, so it's on a soft surface. But like, I don't think I'm initiating the tilt. I don't know if the ball is moving when I'm tilting it, because I'm trying to move it to actually cause it to say tilt, and it's not. I don't think it's tilting, and I don't think there's like buttons to tilt, right? No. I wonder if you can adjust those settings for it. Let's check a settings thing. Music volume, SFX volume, physics volume, solenoids are on, ball trails on, plunger calibration. All right, back. Oh, that's the music volume. Let's just go back and play. All right. Nope. All right, you just have to get used to navigating the menu up and down. Let's go up, resume game. Yeah, I don't think I've been able to initiate a tilt. I'm trying to like get it to, I know I'm shaking myself, but it's not even showing that it's tilting. So I have to test it out more, but it's super heavy. Super heavy. I've been moving my camera so you can't see. So that's cool. All right, those are my first thoughts. I think pinball is gonna be decent. How you ever played, but oh yeah, I wanted to show the graphics again on the 1080p version are just so much crisper. You can even tell. You can see from here. Like, look at the detail on the Battle of Nimbon this way. I'm almost like, since this isn't a traditional pinball table game, and you can play FX3 like on your Switch or PS4 or any of those platforms, like the way they optimize pinball for a horizontal screen so that you can see other stuff happening on the screen besides just the pinball table, it's really cool. Like when I see the vertical play field, it doesn't look as detailed. I mean, I know it's like shallow or depth, but maybe I'll feel different if I run this table vertically on a nicer table. But I'm actually enjoying pinball more on my yoke just because of the graphics than I am at the moment. That's just my true honest opinion right now. But GRS yoke is amazing for many things. You can do so much with it. You can play pinball, you can play Star Wars Trilogy, you can play flying games, you can play Paperboy. GRS yoke is awesome. So Glenn, you put out a fantastic product. It's freaking cool. All right, Kenny, you want to give it a go? You want to play some pinball? All right, my son's gonna get in here and play some pinball. All right.
Which one's flappers?
These are the flippers right here.
Oh, whoops.
Okay. All right. These are flippers. This is the plunger right here. You pull back. Phew. All right.
Oh, wait, what? Oh.
Don't push this button. His belly's getting a little big. His belly touched the button, so I guess that's the other thing if you have kids and you're playing, that you just have to make sure that they're not pressing the table right away. So sit back a little bit. He's gonna give it a go. So I think the plug and play nature of the pinball table is gonna be really nice for families or kids that want to just get in here and play. I think I'm gonna do a lot of tinkering. I think I'm going to definitely see if I can get the monitor to plug in. So while Kenny is playing, I'm gonna go run and grab my VS display adapter and the GEEKWORM, and then right after this, if you guys stick around and hang out, I'm gonna get to actually ripping out this and seeing if we can start plugging in the monitor. So hang tight. Kenny, entertain the group. I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Tell them how you like the game.
Okay, this is actually interesting. I was actually expecting this to be like an actual pinball game, but this is actually actual games. But right now I can't look at any of the comments if you guys are seeing any. Sorry. It's just too much focus. There's too much focus. No. Does anybody notice what this picture is? Like, I don't even exactly know. This, like, I don't remember any of this, like, being in the Star Wars story, actually. What? Oh. Shoot!
Join the Empire. The more the better. All train.
What's that, like, squishy sound? Oh! It's from the Solo movie. Oh, okay.
All right, I got this. I'm gonna try out some other stuff too. Keep playing. I gotta get one more thing. Gotta find where the GEEKWORM is. Don't touch this, okay? It's gonna fall down.
Soldiers of the Empire, push forward and defeat the rebellious Mythiques forces.
Okay, does anybody want me to do another game? Anybody want me to do another game? Anybody put in the comments if they want me to do another game. I guess I'll just start right now. Man, they really want to see me do it.
Some more gameplay, all right? All right, last game. Ready? Last game. And you died. All right, good game. Thank you, Kenny. Big round of applause for Kenny. Thank you for
What?
showing off the gameplay.
What?
Okay.
Really?
Yep, that's it. We're gonna bust this open now.
Wait,
Off.
one try only?
That's it. You got me more chances to play later on. Got some other stuff going on here.
One chance only. That's crazy.
One chance only. All right, so let's check it out. If anybody has any questions, let me know. Okay, so let's do it. I'm gonna start taking off this glass. There's a little thing on the back that allows you to access kind of the PCB for it, but I don't think it's enough for me to get like a screwdriver in there. So I'm gonna go the full route and take off this whole side glass and lift the whole thing off so I can convert it. So I'll probably try to go for another 30 minutes or so if folks are gonna hang out. Let me know if you have any questions along the way, but hopefully by the end of it, here's what the plan is. DS display adapter, regular HDMI display adapter. So we're going to plug in this monitor into this so it can have an HDMI out. Then we're going to take the PCB, plug it into the GEEKWORM encoder. So this is the one that everybody's been raving about. It's what I did to my Big Buck Hunter to get the stock PCB so it can output to any HDMI. So first we want to test if we can plug this back into the monitor this way. And then here's the other thing that I got too. This is a bi-directional switch. So this is if you have one TV, you can have two different inputs going into it. So if we can successfully do this, then I'll get the bi-directional switch. So then I can switch from running the stock PCB or running my PC. So that's the ultimate goal. I have zero idea if this is going to work, but that's what this is for. That's the plan. That's the master plan. All right, sure. Keep going. This is interesting. Watch out. He's going to steal your audience. He's a natural. Thanks, Kenny. Kenny, they said you're a natural, man. He says thanks. All right. Cool. So I'm going to leave these camera angles on. I have this kind of like really dangerously just sitting on top of a stool. So I don't claim to have the best YouTube setup, but I do it to entertain where I can. So I'm going to leave the back monitor on for now, and we're going to start drilling out the sides. So the instructions even give you a little bit of guidance on doing maintenance. So it tells you that you can take this apart if you needed to do maintenance on it. So that's really cool that you can look at the guts of it. And I'm sure a lot of true pinball earners are actually always looking under their hood of their stuff. So I'm really curious about what's under the hood of this, so we can check it out in case you guys wanted to do this as well. You guys are following me on a journey. If this is all successful, I probably will do a very shortened version of this as a modding tutorial. And you know, some people will buy 600 full price cab and think it's too much to mod. But you know, if you want to do little things to improve it, then I say go for it. Like this monitor only cost me, I think I got it used for 30 bucks, maybe even less than that. Maybe it was $25. So I just had it. And so it's not like I went out and bought stuff for this. I'm using stuff in my house. So anytime I mod, I always try to use whatever I have. Like when I did my very first Star Wars mod, that's exactly how I started. Like I didn't know that you could daisy chain ground wires. I didn't know that they already had pre-made things you can plug in USBs or, you know, to power LED lights. And that's why I use like a mini USB adapter. So I'm always trying to just use what I have. So I always recommend that for folks so that you don't have to feel so bad about trying to invest more into it. Because people have said, like, why are you going to spend so much money on this machine just to mod it? Why don't you build it yourself? Well, for Run, I don't have like the crazy carpentry skills to do it. I mean, I definitely have my good buddy Bobby Vu to Die for Mods that could make one. Um, but I love the form factor. This is great quality for a $600 build. You know, I think the parts alone, if I was trying to like do this, would take more time and effort than it's worth. Plus, the skin and the graphics are beautiful and match Star Wars, which I absolutely love. And so I need to find a box so I don't lose the screws. Hold on, let me grab a little box so I don't lose the screws. All right. So I mean, like, if you're gonna build your own cab, like, you would spend all that money, and then you would spend like hundreds of dollars to get graphics as well. And so that's the reason why I like getting Arcade1Up pre-done stuff and then upgrading and tinkering where I can. So yeah, this little area right here is just, I think this is just a little piece of wood. So if you wanted to, if I was gonna install like a PC in here or do something else, I could absolutely create a custom like controller set out of this and have it directly right here. Like, I could even do this right now. I could just drill a small hole, add like a little joystick, do a little like joystick command button right here. So I could absolutely do my own interface here. So this is super easy. That like the fact that they have this panel here, and if you want to keep this panel, you can just copy this and then replace it. So I can definitely do that. I might just trace this out into another piece of MDF that I have and just do a swap so I can keep the stock one if I wanted to go back to it, and then just drop in a version of a controller. So I'm definitely going to do that. If I'm going to like put a PC or something else in here, I'm going to create my own controller to put into this and mount directly in here. So that's definitely going to happen. So let's take that off. Let's remove this playfield. I remember, I think I saw, I think it was Justin's video that said that this was glass. So I don't know. I'm not the authority on glass or plexiglass, but it is bending a little bit. It's pretty thick, this, but I feel like this is just really good acrylic. Like, I don't think glass would bend like this. It's sharp on the edges like glass would be, but I don't think this is glass, just personally. Like, just hitting it as hard as I can. It doesn't have that like glass thunk to it. So this, I think, is just really hard acrylic. So yeah, I saw a Cool Toys mod today about putting in a $10 glass onto it as like another upgrade that you can do. But this feels like really good plexiglass acrylic already to me. So I think this is just really good acrylic. I don't think this is actual glass. So that's just the first thing that I wanted to mention. All right, so now we have this portion of the playfield. So this part comes off. This is just a full-on plastic component that looks like it's yeah, it's just been shaved down, very clean cuts. I don't even know what material this is. It's like a light MDF, if you will. It's almost like, yeah, it's like it doesn't feel exactly like MDF, but I guess it does, because this is like the smooth part, and then this is the rough part of the MDF. It's just cut at these angles. So it almost feels like if you've gotten a marquee from Angel Otero Jr. Can't do Bobby's version of that. Disability. His marquee, like his frame, that printed part, it kind of feels like that. All right, so then I think I have to unscrew these parts right here. And then we can lift this up, and then we can get into the bottom part of the back of the monitor. So let's grab these, unscrew these parts. Make sure I don't damage the screen already. 24-inch monitor. It's pretty good. I know all those At Games fans are like, 32, bigger is better. Oh, I dropped the screw on here. Hopefully I didn't scratch it. I just smudged it right now. But I think the 24 inches is good for me for now. I'm going to say for now, because I think you can definitely upgrade it. But if you did that, you would have to not only add more space in here, but then you would also have to modify that other portion of it and not have it sit down as much. So it's going to be a lot more work than maybe it's worth. So I've never had an issue with like the stock monitors too, for the most part. Like the 17-inch monitors that people are like, that always upgrade to the 20-inch ones. Bobby always tells me too. Bobby Boo's like, it's too small. I can't see anything. Where's Bobby Boo? Like, he can't see anything on those 20-inch monitors or 17-inch monitors. But for me, I'm sitting up close already, and I think it's okay for me. So I've only done 20-inch monitor mods on a handful of projects, and it's only because I have Bobby. So Bobby, thank you. If you guys can't see it over there, I have plans to do a Tron mod soon, and I have a 20-inch monitor in there. And then on my original Macross arcade mod, I did a 20-inch monitor installed there as well, and that's it. And I have a 19-inch on my Street Fighter 2 that Bobby installed. That's a touchscreen 19-inch monitor. But other than that, I like the stock monitors on most of the Arcade1Up products. Okay, so I think there's like, I think this just lifts up. I don't think I even needed to. Oh, I did need to do that. Okay, so this lifts up. Is this? I know it's like on a hinge. I think it's on a hinge where I can just lift. Okay, yeah, here it is. Cool. That's cool. Just hinge it up. I just had to remove these 4 things. I don't think I even needed to remove those 2 bolts right there. Just take off these 4 things. Yeah.
Can I talk?
Yes, you can talk to me. What do you want to say? What'd you make? Oh, that's okay. You can't play on the piano right now, baby. All right. Oh, the family life, guys. All right, so the guts of it. I mean, like, this is really super interesting. So I don't even know if the monitor is the same. Like, I see the LCD components right here that are going into the PCB. So I guess first thing I have to do is take off the PCB from this whole thing to see if I can actually get access to the LCD. And I hope it's the same connections as the VS display adapter that we've seen on some of the Gen 3 monitors. If not, then we might have to think of a plan B. But this, everything else, checking out the guts of everything else is super interesting here. So you have all the buttons and stuff going into this this first encoder. So the encoder for the actual buttons is sitting on this front part right here. And then the everything else, like the solenoids. So it looks like there's 4 solenoids that are going into this little extra, it's probably like a circuit board relay. And then all of that is going into the actual main PCB, which is under here. I don't know if, let me move this down so you guys can see the guts. Can you guys see that? So that's pretty cool. So looking inside, we got all the wires in here that are going into this encoder here. You got 4 solenoids that are going into this. And then you have the stock PCB right over there. So today's goal right now, I'm gonna undo this, see if we can get access to the monitor and plug it into a BS display. So I'm going to, sorry for this, it's gonna be shaky for just a second. Going to extend this down. All right, so I'm just trying to get caught up with chat to see if there's any questions. Could a small subwoofer and sit inside there towards the back? I would say, yeah, there's a lot of space in here. So you know what? Ultimately, if I do end up putting a PC in here, I definitely think there's room for me to decase the PC and stick it like right here. So I'd have the PCB there, and then I'd have the other full-on PC. Like, there's a lot of space in here. Like, I could totally decase the PC and fit it inside. So right now I have a Dell 7010 like just sitting in the back right there, but ultimately I would decase it, drop it in here, and see if I can run both. And again, like, I could build my own, but I don't want to because this is already pre-built and it looks beautiful. Like, I might just do it. I might just drop in an extra PC that I've already been working on, and just I have like you know, people are saying that it's super expensive to get a PC and get all the parts to get everything running. But if you do some good shopping, you can get some really good deals. Especially if you look for PC recycling centers in your area. So maybe not off of eBay directly, but look up PC recycling center and then look up for deals. So again, if you can get i5, you know, 3rd gen i5s, I usually get them for around $60-$70, if not cheaper. And then you just throw a 1030 GT into there, and you know, for about less than $200, you could be running a really powerful PC that can do so much stuff. All right, I don't think this is going to be able to fit, so I need to go grab another screwdriver. Sorry, I did not prep as much as I needed to. So hold on. All right, got my toolbox right over here. Got my screwdriver right over here. All right, let's get in here. Start modding, doing some live modding on the Star Wars pinball machine. Again, I did it. I actually played with it. I left it on, or turned it on, and you know, by first impressions, like I said, I've played FX3 on many other things, and I can't unsee the good quality that I've already played it. So if you've never played FX3 before, then yeah, maybe the table quality will be good enough, but it's just not good enough. You know, even after seeing it, I might not even, I don't know if I even want to keep the stock ones. I mean, I think the user interface is really clean, but just the quality of the 720p monitor, like it just kills it for me. If especially if I'm gonna have this this really nice backglass that's 1080p and running the same stuff like a lot clearer. Like I'm looking at the 20, like my 22-inch, and I can see some jagged lines on this portion of, I know you can't see me pointing at it, but I can see some of the lines, but it's like a drastic difference. So the 720p on the 24-inch is way more apparent than the 1080p on the 22-inch. Okay, so pulling off the PCB now, just getting rid of some of this plastic. All right, so let's undo. There should be an HDMI out already. Oh, hey, look at that. This is already HDMI out, so we don't even, I don't think we even need a GEEKWORM. Oh, we do. This HDMI out is the second HDMI out that goes to the DMD backglass. So this HDMI was connected to the DMD backglass, so that's an out. The LCD for the main table is being plugged into this, which I assume is the power, and then this black cord, which should be the actual connection port of it. So that's the power, and then the display. So let's get this open. So here's the Ferrite magnet ring. I remember doing it for folks that maybe saw my Outrun review. I was kind of new to some of the newer PCBs. I think I originally called this part like, hey, look, they added this weight onto the Arcade1Up PCB or cables. And then I got reamed by comments. People are saying, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. And I didn't. As much as I'm doing all these mods, I'm still learning as much as I can every single day. And I learn from the community members. I learn from YouTube comments. I learn from the Facebook community. So if you know more about this than I do, I welcome feedback and would love to hear how to get better on stuff. So I just remember that comment was like, I will never call this a weight again. It's a Ferrite magnet ring to reduce interference. Okay, so PCB, I need to remove these 4 screws now. It looks like this is a ground cable, and then the actual connections in there. So the ground to the PCB, this is definitely power, and then that's the connection. So we got to undo these 4 parts too. All right, so let's undo these. Do you think this already voids my my Arcade1Up warranty? If I break anything, if I'm doing this for the sake of science? I wonder if any Arcade1Up officials would be watching something like this. Glenn saying, how do the connectors look? Yeah, so again, the connectors are here. You're looking at the guts right now, so everything's connected in. And I'm hoping it's kind of your standard LVDS connection. It looks like a 30-pin connection. I can kind of start seeing the wires already. I'm undoing the ground that's connected to the PCB right now. And so I will get this, plug into LVDS, and then we'll test if we can run another input into the big screen. Oh, my daughter's singing the cleanup song. Hey, clean up, oh, we had fun today. Now it's time to clean up and put everything away. Hey. Yes, that's the cleanup song. If you ever have kids and you want them to clean up, sing the cleanup song. It may encourage them because she loves to clean up because she gets to sing the cleanup song. Hey, all right, so now, okay, so here's the PCB. I'm about to kind of remove it from here. This is the power on the back side of the switch that's plugged into this little port. So I'm going to carefully disconnect this so I can get access to this completely. Here's the metal shell right there. All right. And then here's the connection. So we have the 40-pin LVDS right here, and then the power that's going directly into this little port right here. And I believe the solenoids were going into the stock PCB too. So, all right, so let's kind of take this one at a time. We're going to undo the 30-pin here. Okay, so we're gonna remember that the red was connected to the left side here. So let's carefully pull that out. This is the power. Okay, And again, this is a lot of their modern new PCBs now have a fan connected to it. So there's a lot of like power in these. And you can see here that it says Pinball Star Wars. So this is the guts. This is everything that's running Star Wars Pinball FX. I don't know if it's FX2 or FX3 that's running on here. But based on the lines, I'm actually curious. I haven't done as much research as maybe I could have if it's running the FX2 versions or if it's the FX3 versions, because I know there's been upgrades on FX3 in terms of graphics. So maybe, I don't know, did anybody know in chat which version of Star Wars Pinball it is? Is it if it's FX2 or FX3? I'm kind of curious now if it's related to which version of it is versus just the actual hardware itself. Okay, so let me bust out the LVDS. Hello. Good job. Does anybody know? Okay. Kong, tearing this brand new unit is stressing me out. Oh, I try to give you guys a little bit of heartburn to see what's going on. All right, put that on the 22-inch AMD. Scott says it's running modified Android versions. Really? It's running Android versions. So like this is something that you would run just on your Android tablet or something, and it would be running those versions. So no wonder the quality is like, even if it was a better monitor, like I would assume they'd have to downsize the quality of the graphics for it to run on Android devices. Android. Thanks Scott. Thanks Razman. What's up, Mango Slice? Saying King Kong. That's another YouTuber, King Kong. That guy's funny. Super awesome. All right, let's do it. So now this is a regular, like the third gen LVDS to HDMI adapter. So again, I'm pretty much just going to take this cable and plug it in here, and then ground it to this adapter. So this would plug into here, because these boards, even though they're made for the Gen 3 monitors, they output to 1080p as well. They do a 920 to 1080p resolution, because when I plug it into the stock 17-inch BOE monitors, a lot of times when I run my playlist, I will be running it completely on a 1080p background, so that way it can make everything play full screen. So I definitely know that these boards can do 1080p. So let's ground our little nut here. You make sure that if you're ever mounting this anywhere, that this does not touch the metal part, because that will short out your board. Okay, all right. So here we go. We plugged in the monitor. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unplug the backglass HDMI and plug it into here to see if I can run my playlist pretty much on this screen right now. So I just need to get a 12-volt adapter for this, which I already have, just the stock one. Well, let me check the rating on the stock monitor first. So this is running 12 volts, 5A. Oh, okay. So in case you're curious about the power supply for the Star Wars Pinball, it's running a 12-volt 5A adapter, whereas the regular A1-Ups run a 12-volt 3A adapter. So that means it can power up to 5 amps, just running 12 volts through it. So we can use that adapter. So it has a little bit more juice. It's actually not only just, it uses the standard PC type 3-prong connector into the adapter itself. I'll show you. It looks like, I'm not going to plug it out completely, but it looks like this. So this is the adapter. Here, I'll show you here. This is the adapter that it plugs into. And you can see it's a 12-volt 5A rating for the stock pinball adapter. So that's pretty cool. All right, so we're going to take that. I'm going to run it through the back. So again, if you can see it, there's a little hole in the back of the pinball machine that it runs through. So you can run wires through it. You can actually take it apart from the back. So you can kind of access this inside area from the back if you don't want to open everything up. All right, so we're going to plug in the power to that. And then I'm going to unplug my pinball, or maybe I just plug second device. Oh no. Okay. I don't know if you saw it. Did you guys see that? Did you see it on the second one? There's like this little green streak that went across the monitor here. Oh, I already broke my Star Wars pinball. My heart's like fluttering. It's like, oh man, I just killed it. Worst case scenario, if I break the stock monitor, all right, Bobby View, I gotta go find myself a 27-inch monitor and do an upgrade anyway. So nothing's ever truly broken. You can always fix anything. How's it going? So let's unplug this HDMI, run this through. All right, so I'm going to plug this connection in to the HDMI out and see if it played anything. Why is there like a green screen there? You guys see that? Did I like crack my monitor already? Maybe it's the wrong output resolution for the monitor. Maybe I have to get a different adapter. No songs ever worked here. And all right, so all right, I plugged in the monitor. I'm not getting any signal from the PC that I plugged in though. So I just turned it off. I'm turning the monitor back on. I have the HDMI that was plugged into the back screen plugged into this, and you see like there's this little green strip here. So I don't know if I actually damaged my screen or monitor. That's scary. All right, I'm gonna have to plug in the stock PCB and see if I actually truly damaged it. If we can go back to stock and see. That would not be my first time tinkering and messing something up straight out the box, but I don't see how I could have done anything like that. We didn't really touch the monitor and do anything. So, all right, so test number 1, plugging in the regular VS display adapter is not working. So maybe we have to get a specific custom one for this screen. So I have to do some research on this actual screen to see if we can plug it into a different type of adapter and get it working. That's disappointing. I thought it would work. That's really disappointing because we needed to do that as step 1 to make sure we can accept an HDMI input from something else before we could even like go to the next step, which is trying to get this stock PCB to work with the GEEKWORM, which Cool Toy already did the proof of concept and already expanded that onto a larger screen. So I know I can swap this into a larger screen with the compatible monitor. My hope was that we can take the stock monitor and get it working with an HDMI out. But maybe it's just the input resolution, or maybe it's the output. Let me try unplugging it and plugging it back in just to see if that fixes anything. No, okay, so the HDMI is in. Normally we would get something. I get that little green thing. You see that little green thing there in the center? That worries me. I don't know what that is. Okay, let me double check my PC if it's putting something back out. Okay. Yes, the 1.27 inch, that's what I'm talking about. All right, I'm sorry, I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. All right, so let's double check. My PC should still be outputting to the HDMI that I plugged in here. So let's see. Is it still running something? Oh, maybe the PC stopped running. Maybe it went to sleep. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe it just went to sleep. Where's my keyboard? Where's the keyboard for? There it is. Okay. Did it just go to sleep? Oh, maybe it was just sleeping. Okay. All right. Let's go back. Maybe it was just sleeping. All right. Test it one more time. Okay, we're gonna plug in some power to our VS display adapter because I'm getting signal on this HDMI out. All right, it's doing that green thing again. It's probably the wrong board. Maybe it's that, or maybe it's a different power supply that it needs to. This 12 volt, maybe 12 volt 5A is too much. Maybe I better use the stock Arcade1Up monitor too. So maybe that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use a stock Arcade1Up 12 volt 3A adapter. See if that changes anything. I'm gonna unplug my light. Sorry for the poor lighting, but This is for the sake of science, for the sake of modding. Okay, so we have a 12-volt 3A adapter. I mean, even if it's a 3A adapter or 5A adapter, it shouldn't draw as much power as it would. It still shows the green lines though. Okay. All right, so then let's plug in the HDMI, and then if not, maybe it's a bad board, and maybe I can maybe I need to test the different board. Did I have all my pins in? Oh, I'm getting something. You guys see that? There's like something that's showing up, but it looks off. Did I ground everything? Okay, so I have the wire grounded. Do I have all the pins in though? So I'm getting something now, but it looks completely off. Okay. Maybe there's something wrong with my pins. All right, let's unplug this. Let's double check my connections to this adapter here. So the pins are lined up on the left correctly. Let me just pull it out and reset it. Maybe reseating the pins will help. I grounded to the board itself. I'm checking chat to see if there's any other like hints. All right, 720p is fine with me. I just hope we can eventually add tables, mod it with the VPX pin. There'll be a large table to play it. That's something I would do. Glenn broke it. What's up, Tech Buzz? Steven's here. Steven Hayward, thank you for your time and input. I'm using your ATR microphone. Hopefully the audio sounds better. And I'm using your PTZ camera, this one right here. This is an awesome camera. I want to get another one because I'm using my Logitech. So thank you for the feedback. All right, here we go. Here is this pin here, and everything's good. So I reseated this just to make sure. I wonder if the power supply has anything to do with it. If all else fails, I might try a different board. Like if this was brand new out of the package too, but it shouldn't be having those lines though. Those lines look a little funny to me. All right, so let's plug it back in. And they're not consistent. They're like in different places too. So it kind of tells me that there's something off with the input resolution. All right. Same thing. No dice. No dice. All right. If the board is for the BOE monitors, which is 1280 by 960, it may not work with 1280 920. So Sean Watson, usually if the signal does not match, you get wheeled lines and such. You know, I mean, that's true. The actual LVDS board by default, like it does say that it's designed for 1280 by 960, but when I plug it into I can force the BOE resolution to go 920 by 1080 though. So this is kind of like, or I said it again, 1920 by 1080. If anybody ever saw one of my old videos, I kept on saying 920 by 1080 instead of 1920 by 1080. You know, Sean, I think you might be right. That I probably need to get a different display adapter to see what's going to be compatible with the 24-inch monitor than your standard BOE adapter. So if anybody does some quick research, like are there any VS display adapters designed for 1920 by 1080 screens? So that would be the magic sauce. If anybody can look on Amazon and see if the VS display adapter company makes a version, because I know there was 2 versions of this that we were using on our Arcade1Ups, the Gen 1s and then the Gen 3 monitors, right? So everybody's been using these Gen 3 monitors. And so that's why it's not working. But, you know, just for science sake, I'm going to unplug this and I'm going to try one other board to see if it would make a difference. And if it doesn't, and if we can't get it to work, then we might have to pause the stream, and then I will do more research on my own and then post up more info. But at least we got to do some live discovery together. I appreciate everybody that's been joining in and hopefully checking out some interesting content to see what you can do with your Star Wars Arcade1Ups. We know that you can fit a backglass monitor, and maybe to end the stream, I'll play some Star Wars Trilogy and get demonetized when I play some John Williams music. But let me get another VS display adapter and see if it's just a bad board. Maybe I accidentally touched the back screen and I fried it before I even, started it. So let me get one more. All right, one more clean one, All right, let me just take the old one and put it to the side. I probably should take all my old stuff and like, so this is the stock PCB. I'm just gonna put it to the side back here for right now. Got some other tools working inside. I should wear like static-free gloves. All right. Change your PC resolution and then plug it in. Oh, that's not a bad idea, Tom. I'm gonna try doing that. I'm definitely gonna try doing that. All right, my next Steven Haywood, my next recommendation I need from you is better lighting. So I just have little light cams. If you have better recommendations for lighting, send them my way because I just have little cell phone light rings. Okay. All right, so I just got a brand new board. We're gonna plug this in one more time and see if we can not touch anything that's metal. Maybe it touched this metal board here and fried it. And then I'm gonna try to change the resolution on the output. But I don't think it has to do with the PC output resolution. I think it's what the stock monitor like native resolution is, because the native resolution on those BOE monitors is 1280 by 960. So it's using this cable's resolution rather than the input. But it doesn't hurt to test it out. We could always try it and see. All right. So, and maybe the other thing is instead of grounding it to the board, maybe I need to ground this to the metal backing, because you know on the stock monitors, maybe this is just like my non-understanding of how the grounding works. But I thought you needed to ground it to the PCB itself, but it used to be grounded to the actual back metal, so it might be a grounding issue as well. All right. Sean Watson says the A1UP PCB have a fixed resolution though. The GEEKWORM will take that input from the LVDS and adjust for the HDMI. The LCD controller will only output to a single resolution. Okay. This is super geeky speak right now, but I need to hit you up afterwards, Sean, and we can kind of troubleshoot in case this is something that people want to take a look at. If we want to use this stock 20, I mean, this is the first time we've seen a true new monitor from Arcade1Up in their products, right? Because we've been seeing that as those Gen 3 monitors for a while. So they had the Gen 1 monitors, which we know totally blew. They've used Gen 3 monitors for everything else. And now we have two different size monitors in here, the 24-inch here, and then DMD, which I think is like maybe like 10 inches, 10-inch DMD. Okay. So I'm trying to leave this kind of hanging, not touching anything. We're going to try plugging it in one more time. So let's plug it in to this. Get some power, and then plug in the PC and see if it was just a bad board. Nope, same lines. Okay, Sean, I think you might be right. Squiggly lines. Squiggly, wiggly, wiggity wines. Yeah, because even if I output from the PC, I don't think it's going to change anything. Because it's the input that's coming. Sean Watson, I'm still a novice on the subject, but learning every day. Me too, Sean. Me too. We're learning together. That's the cool thing about this community is that we're all kind of pitching in, helping each other figure this stuff out. So I think the magic sauce will be, dropping in a new monitor itself. That might be the easiest way to go. I thought I could just reuse this, but then that starts adding up costs because like obviously the LVDS display adapter was already $25-$30, and then that was using the stock one. But I've been lucky. I found the 27-inch monitor for my big buck world for $30 used for a 1080p 27-inch monitor. So if it's almost the cost of the LVDS display adapter, and that could accept HDMI. So I think ultimately that might be what I do. If I can't find the right adapter, instead of spending another $25-$30 to get an adapter to use the stock 24-inch monitor, I might as well just spend look for a nice 27-inch monitor that Facebook Marketplace OfferUp has them littered in the LA area for around $30-$35, and then I can just drop in that monitor and not have to worry about the display adapter. So I think ultimately that's what I do. For science though, I'm really curious about which display adapter you would need to get this correctly working, because again, as you can see, the lines aren't there. So it's not worth it to move forward right now with the rest of the mod. Again, what I was going to do for those that are curious was take the GEEKWORM, which shout out to Sean Watson, right? So the GEEKWORM encoder adapter is what allows you to plug in a stock PCB into this, and then you can plug it into any HDMI that it can accept it. So it's not any HDMI. Had lots of issues with many TVs that did not work with this. So the hope is that we can run this back into the TV and then use a switch to switch it from a PC to the stock one. And then I'd have to have a separate encoder. Maybe I drill separate buttons to have separate buttons, or, I wonder how I would split the signal on the buttons. So I haven't thought about like reusing the plunger or the stock controls onto a PC. That would be another thing I'd have to figure out, where I'd either have to plug them into a separate encoder or just use separate controls somehow. All right, so that's it. Let's plug it back in one last time just to double check that I didn't fry the screen. I'm gonna do that, plug everything back in so it's back to stock, so that you can see that, hey, you saw me tinkering, you saw me modding. And for folks that have like never modded before, you don't have to be like that worried about breaking your stuff, because a lot of the hardware is pretty resilient. So I say that now with the confidence that everything's going to be working when I plug it back in, but you can see that hopefully everything will still work once I plug everything back into the stock PCB and make sure it's working. So we will finish that up, replug everything in just so that we can make sure we can run the stock hardware again on the screen. And then I will show off some amazing, awesome gameplay on the backglass monitor. Because again, if I'm not just putting a movie like Glenn was recommending or something else, then then that's probably what we'll do. Okay. Let's see. This is grounded. I forget which one it was grounded into though. This is grounded into one of these cables. So let's plug in the PCB. These are lined up this way. Okay. The red pin's going in that way. Okay. Got our power going in here. All right. Pen, Kenny.
Live?
Yeah.
Lights silently turned on.
Oh, the light, are they broken?
Yeah.
Oh, the lights turned out. Oh, it's okay. You guys can go play in your room then, okay? All right, so we're putting the ground back into the PCB. All right. Okay, so I'm not gonna put this completely back in, but I'm going to plug this power piece back in here too. I will probably be spending some more time tinkering, so I'm not gonna reset everything back into its place, just so I can get access to stuff. So I'm gonna place this carefully right over here. And then we're gonna plug in, this is all the encoder wire stuff, into this bottom part here. And then we have the HDMI from the backglass here. Okay. And let me pull this one out. Let me pull that one out. Okay, so we are plugging back in the stock power and then the HDMI for the DMD. It's gonna be right here. All right. Let's do HDMI DMD. Well, this is really tight. Okay, so it's supposed to be plugged in there. Okay, turn this upside down. All right, so that's in, and then the stock power is going to plug into the back. Okay, so let's plug in our top glass monitor again. So that's working. Woohoo! I have this dangerously dangling right there. I can't say I recommend this, guys. So, for folks that aren't familiar with doing this stuff, like, it's hard to recommend it, especially if it didn't work. But let's carefully drop this back down. Okay. And then turn everything back on and see if everything's still powering up. Okay. Got the back glass that's lighting up. And this is where like, B just broke his Arcade1Up Star Wars Pinball. And now I just have an empty shell. Let's double check. Turn around the right way. this off, double check the back side. This would be a tragedy, huh? This would be a super tragedy if I didn't put it back correctly. Those back up. Okay. Other thing too is I don't remember if I reseated my pins correctly. So this is in here. That's the DMD. That's the ground. Here. Moment of truth. Solid try. All right, let's see if I can reset this back. I don't remember, honestly. I can't tell which pin number is the right way. I think they were going this way. Maybe the pins are resetted. I have to rewind my video. I should have taken a picture to see if my pins are reset the right way. Okay. Here we go. Back on. Everything's plugged in. There it goes. All right, I got the fan spinning now, which is a good news signal. That's good. That's good. We got some spinning happening. And all right, so I got the PCB working again. The backglass monitor is up, but my the monitor is not working. So, you know, I wonder if I somehow fried the monitor itself, like while I was tinkering with it, like, right? Because it was showing the lines. So that could be either a compatibility issue or it just might be the monitor itself. And I somehow fried the monitor while I was taking some stuff out. So that's okay. This was interesting for science to see if it could be done, because then this is just gonna force me to upgrade to a better monitor anyways. But that totally blows. So I have to double check to see my connections, because this is obviously not turning on right now. The PCB is back on. I have to double check my connections and see if I can get the monitor back up and working. Let me try one more thing, because it's like I grounded everything. I flipped the switches. Maybe it was plugged in the wrong way and I just didn't flip it the right way. Let me try flipping it back. The pins. All right. All right, we're flipping the pins one more time. Maybe somebody should rewind the video and see if I'm actually plugged it in the right way. Okay, maybe I just had the pins flipped. Let's double check and see. Because before the PCB wasn't loading up before. This is better. I see something spinning. That's good news. I'm giving everybody heartburn that I already broke my Star Wars Arcade1Up, and I'm like, I'm not even sweating right now, because I'm like, I can just update it if I need to. But I'm pretty confident it's gonna turn on right now. Boom. All right, that's live modding for you guys, right? Like, try again. Okay, I didn't break my Star Wars arcade pinball machine, so I'm back to stock. We were successful in trying something out, putting it back in. At the very least, I can go back and still play Star Wars pinball if I wanted to, so that's pretty cool. All right, let me turn down the volume a little bit so I can just check out if there's any last comments. Woo, what a relief. Thank goodness. All the people that are like, woo, that's me too. I'm like, oh man, I spent all this time to play pinball, and I'll definitely do some more feedback on it. But you know, so far this has been fun to kind of just test out to see what can be done on the actual Star Wars pinball machine. So yeah, I'll do some more gameplay of it stock But for folks that are just joining, like my first impressions of the quality of the graphics, like I guess the Android versions of it, they just don't compare to the FX3 tables that I have. You can see up there, I have FX3 running on a PC right now on my and running through Launchbox, and it just looks beautiful compared to like this screen version of it. So, all right, so to kind of end the stream, since I promised some other kind of gameplay that you could do with it, I have Glenn's Star Wars GRS yoke. So plug for Glenn Planamento, the GRS yoke. It's absolutely amazing. Plug for my good buddy Greg Zaker from 99 Lives Arcade that made this custom control panel mount for the GRS yoke. So this is actually designed for a Gen 1 Arcade1Up if you wanted to mount this in there. I still have plans to do a review of it. So, and then I added some extra buttons. So this is Glenn's GRS yoke. And then I have it plugged into into the back there into a Launchbox build. So I'm actually navigating through my custom Launchbox build through this. But I have other pinball tables. I have Star Fox. I have a Shmups list. I have a Star Wars list. I have a shooters list. I know light guns are kind of like a big thing that people want to play. But for example, I have a shooting list in here, and I could play some Time Crisis. Check this out, guys. I'm going to play Time Crisis on my Star Wars yoke on the Star Wars pinball machine. So this will be a first. I don't think anybody has done this before, where they've played Time Crisis using a yoke on their Star Wars pinball machine. So just check this out, guys. So I have my triggers set to the bottom triggers. And then for the pedals, instead of like stepping on something, I use the top buttons on the trigger here. So I press the top buttons to like step up. And then you're just running a main version of Time Crisis here. So, I mean, this is a pretty fun way to play the game. If you don't have a lights gun cab and you want to get Glenn's GRS yoke, it can do it all as long as you have a build for it. So I'm running a PC with this custom playlist, but this is pretty cool. Again, and the 22-inch play, like a lot of my monitors in my arcades are 17 inches. So having this 22-inch monitor on the back of your screen is really cool because it's farther away enough for me to feel like it's almost like a pedestal build. And yeah, the quality of the screen is great. It's a PC monitor, so I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, once you're done playing with it, I have this bottom button on GRS's yoke to hold down as my escape button. So it's just running a custom joy-to-key profile that'll exit the game once you press it. Then you can go into another game. So I have all these other games on here on my Launchbox build. So that was fun. Any requests? Does anybody want to see anything? Cables all in tight. Yes. I mean, Glenn, this is really cool. I think it would be really cool to take that DMD output and input into your PC and create a custom artwork CMD combo for that top screen. Yeah, definitely. This would be a great way to save space. Star Wars pinball cab and cab all in one. Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, like with the yoke, I have so many yokes. I have my original Arcade1Up yoke, and then I have two of Glenn's GRS yokes. And so I don't know if you guys can see it. Like I have a yoke that's attached to this Tron mod right here that I haven't done anything with. That I was going to be testing out. So I have yokes everywhere. So Jonathan Lonzo, Protect Gains, you were saying like add a yoke to the pinball table. Done. Challenge done. Completed. It's been accomplished. So that was pretty cool. All right, I've been going for close to an hour and a half now, almost. So I really appreciate everybody that's been joining the stream. If you have any last questions, let me know now. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and end it a little bit early. I had no idea what I was going to do when I started this, but we reviewed the pinball machine. You got my first thoughts and initial impressions on the screen itself, the quality compared to a 1080p screen. If anybody wants the exact specs of the monitor, I will try to look for the exact specs. If in case anybody wants to find this, like I did. The screen itself, just so that you know, I did very little to the monitor itself to actually get it to fit. It like literally fits perfectly, and I just took it off the bottom part of its stand. And the unfortunate thing about this AOC monitor is it doesn't have the standard VESA mounts. And so I will show you right now kind of what it looks like, just so that you can see it. Play Sega Jurassic Park. One more pinball table. You want to see one more pinball table? Okay, I can play one more pinball table. Can you pan your arcade room real quick and try Pinball FX City? All right, we're getting a couple of requests. Okay, so here's the arcade room itself. So I have my Marvel vs. Capcom, which I play daily. Dragon's Lair on iArcade. Prentice Howard. coming for you. I'm the number 2 player right now on Dragon's Lair, but I have to use arrows. If you guys are in the II arcade community, we have a little fun chat going. There's my Outrun, got my Star Wars sit down, a Pac-Man cab, got a TMNT in the back there, a modded Star Wars Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat, a Tron build, and then my Big Buck Hunter, Big Buck World mod, and the Neo Geo MBSX. So, and then in my actual, I have a little mini man cave over there too, where I have my Macross arcade mod. So I have a lot of toys and things in there. So that's the arcade room for now. Cool. But before I jump into some more gameplay, I just want to show you guys how I mounted this so you guys can see. So let me switch camera so you guys can see this one that's dropped down a little bit more. Okay, so this is my camera that's kind of facing down. So you can kind of see now that the way I left this blank, but this is the back side of the monitor. And again, I just mounted it and fitted it in, but there's no VESA mounts on here. And so it's not really secured into anything. Like if I actually move this screen, it doesn't fit exactly on the top side of this. I'm using this part right here to kind of friction fit it into place. So I will definitely need to find a way to securely mount this in more. I wouldn't recommend doing this completely. When I put it together, I was looking for something that fit, and this monitor fit almost perfectly. I'm gonna say like just a hair smidgen off. So the side mount. Sorry, I'm moving this thing too much. Oh, am I caught on something? Okay, cool. So like see here, I mounted the side panel, this top panel using this screw, but the screw mount alignment here for this top bar is slightly off. So this is just friction fit holding this in. If I move this out, it's literally just kind of falling out like this. So this is how I have this particular monitor here, and it fit perfectly with the frame. So I could probably demount it. I could probably find another way to secure it in more. So I wanted to show you guys it wasn't like an exact fit, but it looks good enough for me to play with it. And I think it fits well. Like when I saw the stock backglass, it's just an image, that's great. But if you can have a dynamic screen to do anything else with it, it's great. It's so versatile. So I think this is again, it cost me $30 for this particular monitor when I got it. I'll share the specs of this exact monitor, but if you can drop a screen into here, it'll just give you more life and more space to do things with it. And you can run a Raspberry Pi with just images that run in the background or something. So you can do a lot with this monitor backglass mod. So I just wanted to show that off really quickly so that you guys could see that backside. All right, I will do one more gameplay of something. All right, nice. I love that Space Invaders clog. All right, awesome. Subscribe also. Thank you guys for, if you guys are new to the channel, I appreciate a sub and support. Everybody's here in the community supporting each other. So I appreciate all the other content creators that are here. I'll do one more racing game. I think I just cut myself off accidentally. Can you guys hear me now? All right. Sally. All right. Cool. I'm back. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. Yes. All right. Battle Pod. Let's do Star Wars Battle Pod just for kicks. Another first. Star Wars Battle Pod on the Star Wars Pinball, just because we can. This is running a Technoparrot build. I just like to have fun, to do things and create things where you can. While that's playing, why don't I just launch a pinball table and see if I can play pinball and this at the same time. So I got pinball down here. That's a challenge, right? Can you run a pinball table simultaneously while playing something with the yoke? That would be fun, huh? So I got the Darth Vader pinball on the bottom side, And then I got Star Wars Battle Pod Running. So whatever your fancy liking. So this is the Darth Vader table. I can't even see where my flippers are the way I have my camera set up. So let me move this back out to the side so you guys can see. All right. So I got my flippers. Launch. Okay. Press any button to start. Yeah. Keo's in the house, man. Crime. 1UP should have mentioned this. They could have helped sell more units. I wonder if you can split the DMD with 22-inch backglass to show Star Wars pictures slideshow. Very cool. Yeah. Blasphemy for the yoke on the Tron cab. In all honesty, the room looks impressive and I love watching your product videos. I did say that when I was originally putting the yoke on the Tron cab. I know all the Tron purists are like, what the hell is a yoke doing on a Tron cab? But it's all good fun, right? Just to see if it worked. And I needed a Gen 1 cab to test it. So I haven't completed my Tron mod yet. Actually, I wasn't happy with the sides that I got. I'm not even playing pinball for reals right now. I just have a table loaded in the background. But I'm not really happy with the Tron look with just using the stock panels on the side. So I'm actually collaborating with somebody, Encore, to see if he can design me I don't know if Arcade1Up is gonna eventually release a Tron cab. I think that's been in the talks that hopefully they might release a Tron cab. But I don't know. So I was hoping to maybe just use the same guts and the sides of the Arcade1Up inside parts and just make the panels look like Tron cab. So that's potentially a go. Oh, the white screen is really hard to see. Sorry, I picked a really bad stage, guys. You can't even see that on stream right now. I picked the Battle of Hoth, and all you see on the screen is just white. So I was playing Hoth right there. Let's do Star Wars Trilogy instead. So let's play some Star Wars Trilogy. This is always fun. Star Wars Trilogy on a yoke is super fun. Pew pew pew. And then this is pinball. So I'm less excited about playing actual pinball on the pinball table than I am playing with the stuff on the DMD back screen. But I'm gonna start looking for it. The other thing that I'm I guess I didn't talk about this earlier, but I'm trying to feel the solenoids that are hitting. You can kind of hear them go click. I thought they would be louder. I thought they would click more. I could barely feel them, and I don't know much about solenoids, but when you're playing pinball, real pinball, a lot of times you're boom, boom, boom. It feels really loud. So I wonder if another potential mod is updating the solenoids. So that might be something. So I'm not sure which versions they use and how hard these hit. But I have a weekly podcast, guys, called The Next Level on Thursdays. And hopefully very soon, I'm going to bring on board a guest named Vic VP. If you guys haven't seen his build, he does amazing stuff, and he built an awesome custom V-pin table, Simpsons one, and went all out with solenoids, with everything. And he's an expert in building an awesome V-pin cabinet. So I'm going to ask him all sorts of table questions. So last week I did a show about doing a budget V-pin build, and that was if you wanted to just build your own cab out of wood and you had extra 2 monitors, you can do that. You can get away with building a cab for under $300. These pre-built cabs that Arcade1Up is, I feel the middle tier, where if you want a decent product at around $500 that has tables, the quality isn't great in terms of the 720p and the resolution, but otherwise it's pre-built, it's really great. And then if you have the funds and really want to dive deep into the hobby of paying thousands of dollars for an upgrade, you can do Vic VP's V-pin build. So I have plans to do a little bit in between, so we'll see. All right, so I have Star Wars Trilogy in the back. Let's just end with some Star Wars Trilogy gameplay because it's so much fun. Anytime I get to play this game, it's super fun. Just saw Vic Simpsons build. Yes, it is freaking awesome. Keep hoping and begging that they release Tron and Discs of Tron. I hope so too. Even though I'm doing all this, that's the other reason why I'm kind of stalling on doing the Tron build, is I still have hopes that they'll eventually do one. And then I will have to get rid of my custom Tron one to get the official one, because I really like the direction that Arcade1Up is going with using the real shapes of their cabs to mimic the look and feel, like the KI cab and the Asteroids cab, the Atari Legacy, like those are just beautiful cab. Even the Dragon's Lair Space Ace cab, right? Like I already have the Dragon's Lair IR Arcade, so I would be interested in getting a Space Ace version just for the look of it, to see how like, you know, the design of it. So if they were able to release Tron in its, like, you know, shape, I think it's just such an iconic shape. I would almost have to get rid of it, but then I would wonder, like, I already put so much work into it, so I don't know. Question for Glenn if he's still watching, because I know he built his own Tron cab. Like, would you get rid of your custom-made A1UP Tron cab if they release another one? I think that's and as A1UP has been releasing more and more cabs, I wonder if people are, you know, keeping their modded cabs that they've done and then getting a new one. Like, I know Chris, Killer Arcade Games, made a Killer Instinct cab. Are you going to get rid of yours for the stock Arcade1Up one? I'm kind of curious what people are doing for that. But this is Star Wars Trilogy. Super fun. If you haven't had the DRS yoke, the clicking triggers are really different than the stock Arcade1Up ones. So this is a really nice feeling when you're shooting. It's just kind of really loud. Like if you're playing a game, and I don't have the sound on right now, but it's just really loud for clicking, and the top ones don't have that. So that's better or worse. I like the clickingness. If you haven't seen my clicking mod for Big Buck Hunter, that's something I did as well. Disc of Tron spinner prototype made. Glenn, I need to hook up with you. I would love to see, since I was a huge fan of yours and backed the Kickstarter before I got into any of this, and you know, had expectations to do something with Tron, and so I have your full Kickstarter set with the custom spinner, or like the old spinner, right? And then also the your Tron stick and everything. So that's going into the guts of that as well. But that would be really cool to see your push-pull spinner. All right, guys. I think that's it for the stream. I've been going at it for a while. Do you want to say hi, Mrs. Kong Zeras? No? You want to try pinball and tell everybody your opinions on it?
Sure.
Yeah? You guys want to see Mrs. Kong Zeras play some pinball? For those that waited long enough and wanted to see. So there's a big camera right there. And then we have this right here. So let me move this out of the way.
Let me turn off the light in the room.
Okay. So anybody have any questions for Mrs. Kong Zeras? We've she may or may not make a guest appearance in a future review video. I know that's a popular request, but we'll see what she thinks about the pinball table right now. All right, so let's turn up the volume a little bit. Let's go back into our exit to main menu, and you can pick whichever table you want. So yeah, so this is our Star Wars pinball table now. Aren't you so happy? So happy that we have a Star Wars pinball table.
I'm curious what Boba Fett's is.
All right.
Foldable
So you push the red button underneath the plunger. That's the hard thing. Like, I couldn't see the red button underneath the plunger to get it started. So yeah, she's a big Boba Fett fan. Boba the Fett fan.
Boba the Fett.
Boba the Fett. So you can test it out, see how you like it.
Yep. Doesn't show you the marbles in there.
You got to push the button first to start it.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, so then it's going to say launch the ball.
Got
So the
it.
DMD animation on the back is pretty cool. It's like dot matrix DMD.
I like the sound on the side. At least it sounds like you're playing a game.
The solenoids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, sorry, this is kind of a bad angle to see. I'll try to see if I can get this in a little bit better so you guys can watch it. It's super hard to see. I think it's hard to capture this. The other thing hopefully we'll be able to do is get the GEEKWORM to plug into this, and then can do some capture card streaming as well. Ralph, I agree. It's lucky that we have wives that support our game addiction. So lucky.
Whatever keeps you busy during COVID.
Yeah. Pew pew. Try nudging it. See how hard you can nudge it.
The actual game, like
yeah, it's
shake
supposed to have like a tilt, but I don't know if it's hard to activate it. So super hard to activate.
So like jiggle it.
Jiggle it. Yeah, I'm really excited about adding in another controller right here
God.
for playing other stuff too. So I absolutely will be kind of doing some more mods and thinking about what else I can do with this. Game over. Thoughts, feedback? What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely. It's just a flat game that you're looking at. There's not a lot of shadow to it too. So when you're playing it, you know you're just playing a video game. It's not actually a pinball where you see shadows and like things to it too. But it's hard to replicate it. I think it's better than having all the little lights and electronics and doodads here because now you have so many more games to play. But the feel is definitely a little bit different. I do appreciate having sound come off to the side where you could see the marble in one direction and then when it hits on something, you hear that noise too. So I appreciate that detail to it. It's small. I tried to rattle it, but I don't know if it did anything. It did move the flippers on one side, so I don't know if it's the same as like when you're playing your pinball and you get angry, you start tilting it.
Yeah, I think nothing's gonna replicate the feel of real pinball, but I mean this is pretty dang close to like if you're. I think I was mentioning it to somebody in the community, Michael Sheen. He has tons of Arcade1Ups, but he has 3 real pinball tables, and so it's hard to replicate that. But for the casual pinball fan and a Star Wars fan, I think this is really great. So I know that you have the offerings of Marvel versus this. So
is there going to be like a glass overlay?
Yeah. So for this, actually has like this little like thing that sits in here. This is supposed to sit here. So you can put that on, and then this is like a little glass thing that's supposed to go on top of it.
Oh no, so it's going to be glare on glare.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So I don't know if that looks or feels better or not.
It makes it look a little bit better, but I feel like it's going to be obscuring like some of your games because, like I said, there's no depth, there's no shadow to it too. So if your glass isn't clean all the time, if it's dusty or kids touch it, you're going to see that
smudge.
Little, smudge or nuance to it, and you're not gonna know if it's gameplay or not. I think I prefer it without it.
But then you're touching the screen.
Yeah,
itself.
But then you're touching the screen itself.
Yeah.
So do you sacrifice like something you're familiar with to something that's more playable? It is to be said.
Doesn't take up that much space, right? Once it's back on the wall.
Let's just say this is not COVID friendly. There's so many games right next to each other. You basically have to be playing like this in a very tight area.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just going to switch our camera one last time and say goodbye to everybody. So thank you guys so much for joining the stream and checking us out. So if you liked and enjoyed the content, consider subscribing. Appreciate all the content creators that helped join this and the community members as well. So appreciate you guys taking it to the next level. See you guys next time. Bye.